Welcome to Oak Tree Stories, timeless tales rooted in India. Here you'll find gentle, thoughtful tales drawn from our rich storytelling traditions, from ancient fables and folklore to heartwarming slices of modern Indian life. Each story is carefully chosen and lovingly crafted to be age appropriate and calming, with just a touch of wonder. So come, get cozy, and let the story begin. I'm Shalini, your storyteller. Each week we bring you folk tales and original stories from across India. Stories full of wonder, courage, wit, and wisdom. Today's story comes from Punjab, a land of 5 rivers, bustling fields, and stories passed down in song and spoken word. It's the tale of Raja Rasalu, a legendary figure from Punjabi folklore. Although he is remembered as a mighty king, this story takes us back to his younger days, when he was still a prince, learning what it meant to be brave, thoughtful, and just. This is Raja Rasalu and the Talking Birds. Are you ready to listen? Then settle in, close your eyes if you'd like, and let's begin. Long ago, in the kingdom of Sialkot, there lived a young prince named Rasalu. He wasn't loud or boastful. He didn't care much for grand processions or golden thrones. All he wanted to do was be a good ruler, wise and fair. And he never forgot what his guru once told him. A ruler must always protect those who cannot protect themselves. So every week, Rasalu would put on a simple cloak, cover his royal crest, and walk through the busy weekly markets of the kingdom. He listened. He watched. He asked questions. One day, as he wandered through a market square, he heard a woman whispering to her neighbor. Another traveler lost, went towards the Black Hills and never came back. Rasalu stopped. He turned. Keeping his voice quiet, he asked, "The Black Hills?" The woman and her neighbor exchanged a frightened glance. "We don't know much," one said. "Just that something strange lies deep in those hills. Something no one dares speak of." Rasalu said nothing, but his mind was already made up. He returned to the palace, gathered some food and water, and set out before sunrise. He rode for many days, through tall grasses and dusty plains, through forests where the trees whispered secrets. On the 7th evening, he reached a dark forest at the edge of the Black Hills. The trees stood tall and silent, as if holding some sinister secret. Near a small pool stood a crooked old tree, and in it sat 2 birds, a bright green parrot with feathers like sugarcane leaves, and a watchful black crow with eyes like shining beads. The crow cawed, "Turn back, traveler. There's danger beyond this point." Rasalu looked up calmly. The parrot added gently, "There's a house ahead, hidden in the rocks. A giant lives there. He welcomes visitors, feeds them, keeps them warm, but he doesn't let them leave." The crow's wings fluttered. "And if you cannot answer his riddle, he takes your voice, your name, your memories, and then you disappear forever." Rasalu nodded once. He reached into his pouch, placed some dried mango slices on a flat stone below the tree, and walked on. The house was made of smooth grey stone, carved into the hillside. It looked empty, quiet. But when Rasalu stepped inside, a deep voice echoed through the hall. "Welcome, traveler. Come in. You must be tired." A giant stepped into view, tall as a doorway, with eyes that crinkled into a smile. He showed Rasalu a room with a soft bed and warm fire. He served him food, fresh bread, warm milk, sweet dates. Each evening, Rasalu asked, "When may I leave?" And each time the giant chuckled softly. "Soon. You need your rest. You've traveled so far." The days passed. The food grew richer, the bedsheets softer, the giant kinder. But Rasalu noticed the door never opened. On the 7th day after dinner, the giant sat down across from Rasalu. His smile faded just a little. "You may leave tomorrow," he said, "but only if you can answer one question." He leaned in, and his voice turned low and slow. "What eats everything, drinks everything, but dies when given air?" Rasalu looked into the fire. He remembered the birds, the warnings, the silence of the forest. And then softly he replied, "Fire." The room grew still. The giant's eyes narrowed, and suddenly he leapt. The giant roared and grabbed a beam from the wall, swinging it like a club. Rasalu rolled away just in time. The beam hit the floor with a crack. Rasalu pulled out a sword. The two circled each other, one massive, the other small but quick. The giant swung again, left, right, smashing candles and chairs. Rasalu dodged, ducked, darted forward, slashing at the giant's legs. The giant stumbled, growled and lunged, and Rasalu struck once more. With a loud crash, the giant fell to the ground. Dust rose. The fire hissed low, and slowly the doors creaked open. Rasalu stepped out into the night. The air smelled of wildflowers and pine. At the edge of the trees, the parrot and the crow were waiting. The parrot chirped, "You broke the spell. No one else will vanish in that house again." The crow nodded. "You were brave and you didn't let the giant scare you." Rasalu looked at the birds one last time. Then he said, "Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It just means something else matters more than your fear." And with that, he walked on, into the trees, towards the rising moon. And that was the story of Raja Rasalu and the talking birds, a story from Punjabi folklore, shared over centuries in the villages of northwestern India. Rasalu is said to be a legendary prince of Sialkot, and many tales tell of his bravery, wit, and adventures, some even linking him to the great warrior families of India's past. Though he is remembered as a great king, stories like this remind us that even mighty heroes start small, with questions in their hearts and courage in their steps. And sometimes with just enough kindness to stop and feed the birds. This was just one story of many. If you enjoyed this tale, you can find more at www.oaktreebooks.in/Oaktree Stories, where your support helps us continue sharing India's rich storytelling heritage. And here's something special. If this story inspired you, send us your artwork on our website. We'll share them on our social media pages and give you a special shout out in a future episode. Grown-ups, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Oaktree Stories for more stories, more updates, and behind-the-scenes glimpses into our world of storytelling. Until next time, dear listener, be curious, be kind, and remember, real courage isn't about being fearless, it's about caring enough to face your fear.